Good morning. You can't see me. Boop. Mood lighting. It is a good day. You know why? Because I have perfect health. My lungs are functioning. My heart is beating. My heart that I personally have broken 1,000,000 times through my choices, my behaviors, what I put in my body. My heart unconditionally loves me. Yesterday, somebody said to me, Viana, you are so spiritual. And I was like, my first thought was thank you. And I walked away and I thought to myself, thank you. Because I've been through a lot of fucking pain. My choices caused me pain. What I put in my body caused me pain. The way I viewed the world through my filter caused me pain. Somebody said to me yesterday, you are so spiritual. And I was like, thank you. Because I have been through a lot of fucking pain. And then one day I thought to myself, I tell all these other people to stop their suffering, and I do all this meditation, and I write all this bullshit, and I know all this spiritual shit, and I still suffer. I suffer because I attach to suffering. Suffering was the only energy I knew how to function in. Suffering was the only way I knew how to learn. And then one day, I thought to myself, so I'm the creator of my reality. The outside world is just a mirror of what I am on the inside. Hermetic principles. First one, mentalism. The universe is all mental. Correspondence. As above, so below. As above, so below. Because I believe this is a higher place. This is where the universe functions from. Our heart chakra. It's not out there. This is not above. This is not where God lives. This is where God lives. Love is where God lives. And it's through choices. The choices to suffer. The choices to repeat the patterns. The choices to attach to suffering. If I hate, that only begets more hate. If I hate suffering, that only brings more suffering. It's all, the world is viewed through my filters. So if my filter is all clogged and fucked up, that's the way the world is. So if you see all this suffering, try to look at the other side of the suffering. I work at the hospital. I see people suffer every day. And my humanness wants to tell me that it's for no reason. So now I go to work and I think to myself, thank God that the universe chose me to come in here and love on these people. And I focus on the families that come visit. And I focus on the nurses that are so fucking exhausted and have so much shit going on in their own life, but they still come in here and they love on people. So I flipped my perception. Instead of the suffering, you suffering is not going to end suffering. You suffering because of other people suffering only creates more suffering, because now you're suffering. So you're seeing more suffering because that's where your perception is lying. So you're pulling more suffering to you. If you choose to focus on the love that suffering brings, you're going to see more love. You're going to see more health. You're going to see more growth. You're going to have more spiritual connections. Your filter is going to start to declog, and you're going to start to see the way things were God naturally created them to be. God didn't create suffering. We created suffering. We created suffering by trying to control, and we created suffering by attaching to the negative emotions or trying to push them away. Trying to push away a negative emotion or push away the suffering and hating the suffering is just as bad as you taking part in it, because you're feeding it. You're still living in the polarity of the suffering. Hate and love are not opposite. Suffering and bliss are not opposite. Everything is a circle. Energy fields are a circle. So suffering and bliss are closer than apathy and bliss. So all you have to do is alchemize it. Turn your hate of suffering into the love that the suffering brings behind it, because it's all the lesson. The lesson is that we don't have to suffer if we don't align with suffering. Because if you don't align with something, it has no part in your life. And I choose not to align with suffering. I align with love.